Welcome to Wash Talk, the Carwash Podcast. I'm your host, Rich DiPaolo, and joining me today is John Roush, CEO of Express Wash Concepts. John, always great to spend some time with you, and I appreciate you agreeing to do this podcast interview with me here today.
No, glad to be on, and thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So, as you know, John, we broke the news on carwash.com recently, and I wanted to follow up with you on this exciting news of Express Wash Concepts securing an incremental financing to accelerate growth even further than you have in these last few years here. But for those who might have missed the press release, the chain has secured a $150 million incremental credit facility led by MidCap Financial. And John, I was curious, what are these funds going to be used for and why, for those who might have missed the press release here?
Yes, great question. Strictly for incremental growth. We are in a kind of a high growth mode right now. It supplements our cash flow to help us, bring new stores online. So all putting new units out there.
Yeah, and as you know, John, these last few months here, there have been certain headwinds in the industry, right? Macro trends and micro trends in the car wash industry. Financing has been more difficult to obtain this year, certainly more expensive to obtain this year. These headwinds are facing the industry and the country. So, do you see any reason for optimism in sight for the next 6 to 12 months? And was financing more difficult to obtain in this round for you?
Well, we were extremely disciplined in our development strategies here in the last couple of years, and there's only a few car wash chains that really focus mostly on greenfield, and that has helped us put units online that were obviously at a lower cost. We're not paying multiple premiums to bring a unit on. So I think we were able to develop very good units that got to stabilization quickly, and it made it a pretty easy decision for our non-bankers to jump in for the next round on this. So a lot of sins out there. I mean, we all know it. We're feeling a lot of heat and a lot of pressure from some of the bigger chains. A lot of the totally M&A based operators are struggling right now. Very difficult business, not only with the M&A side being so expensive, but also trying to get operations up to speed to support all this fast growth on a lot of these M&A guys. You add that with expensive money to it, you're going to get some issues out there. So we're really proud of like how we've gotten to here. I'm the original guy that started the company 15 years ago, and always been very, very focused on operations. And so we feel good about the next 6 to 12 months or even 2 years. I think there's going to be a nice lull in the competitive action out there for us to take advantage of, further strengthening kind of our dominance in our markets that we work in. I think the consumer is going to hold up fairly well. I think we will see maybe another point of interest rate or another quarter point of interest rates happen in the next, September, or I'm sorry, in the next month or two. But then it should start tapering off and holding, and then possibly some retraction of rates here towards middle of and end of next year. This is what we're hearing. And so I think as long as we keep the economy in some stable position, we're going to feel a lot better about things, in Q2 and 3 of next year. So we're just kind of playing that game right now and planning our growth and our ramps for hopefully riding the wave down on this last piece of this thing.
Yeah, certainly. Let's hope better days are ahead for sure. But John, not too long ago, you made a comment to me on a previous video interview that we did that just referring to our top 50 list, and I know you used to look at that top 50 list and look at where you fell on the list in terms of year over year growth, and at some point that mindset switched to focusing on quality sites over the quantity or the number of sites that you've grown year over year, right? I'd imagine that's still the mindset nowadays, as you're one of the chains, obviously, as you just mentioned, that's growing responsibly and not just looking to pop up as many sites as possible here. So you've simultaneously focused on growth while focusing on operational excellence. So what does operational excellence mean to you?
Let me put an exclamation point on that in today's world. These units cost incrementally more. It's costing us more to develop, more time to develop, more capital to develop. So it's even more important that the units come out, hitting on all 8 cylinders. So operational excellence to me is I'm going to start with culture. We've got an amazing group of people in the office here in Ohio, and then out in the field, spreading a really excellent culture. We all care about each other. We all work to impress each other. We all work to bring and grow value within ourselves and the company itself. So we're investing a ton in our training and our leadership and in our teams out in the field to just plus up and strengthen, their ability to execute excellent customer service and excellent maintenance procedures and taking care of our machine. So we have a good quality, consistent wash every single time our customers show up. And then perfecting our sales techniques. So we're just working kind of on a very customer facing, very internal, people facing improvements every day. And, that's how we started the company. It's probably nothing magical to even talk about this, but it is what makes a difference. We secret shop our competitors. We watch, what their consistency is, what's their turnover, their people, and we see all these things, and we work every day really, really hard to make sure that we don't have those similar things happening. And it shows in, our growth and our financials and our customer engagement. Our CSATs are fantastic. So we're just really focused on the op side of things. And I think we've got one of the best op teams out there that are executing a heck of a good car wash.
All right, sounds good. Now, I know a few years back you were the keynote speaker at NRCC, so I know you stay plugged into the industry and talk with a lot of other operators, I'm sure. I am working on the top 50 list currently as we speak and finalizing that list. I'm not seeing as much growth as I've seen maybe in previous years with some widespread major acquisitions and just the number of sheer acquisitions that have gone into seeing that list grow over the years. So I'm curious, how would you describe the current state of the car wash market in 2023, specifically among the industry's leading conveyor car wash chains?
Well, difficult. We see our 2 publicly traded companies struggling right now in stock price. One of them struggling with just performance. The other actually I feel is a decent performer, but just getting caught up in the turmoil of the industry. So, and I'm rooting for both of them. I really don't want to see anyone fail in the industry. Obviously, if one big player fails, it's going to hurt the industry. It's going to take multiples down. It's going to, decrease value and all the rest of us. So I really want us all to rise together. But, sitting back, looking at the frenzy of the 20, 21, 22, activities in M&A, and certain insane deals that I heard happening that did get executed. You knew back then that you can't buy a wash for $12 to $15 million on future earnings of that wash. Take that mom and pop operator out of there, and then figure out corporately with a whole new management team how you can operate it better than it was going to be. So I just think that M&A side, and again, some of this ends of expensive cost, just couldn't be sustained. And it's all getting felt now, especially, they're feeling the heat in an exponential way because, with increased cost of capital right now, you're going to really get weighed down with that. So, I'm hoping the best for them. I want them to all succeed. I want to see this, the industry in a whole grow because it's good for all of us. And I've always said that even in competition in cities, it's good to have a great group of car washes in there, all making each other better, giving our customers other options, explaining what express car washing is to the industry or to the community faster. It's a good thing. So it's going to be interesting in the next year or so. You're going to see a lot of the M&A guys pretty much come to a skidding halt. They're going to be circling their wagons around their operations and their teams to try to improve what the product and the processes they're putting out there. And you'll see a little bit of slow trickling growth potentially after that, as the credit market's free. But and also I think you're going to potentially see some conglomeration of some of these M&A groups. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on who the leaders are there. But again, our focus has been we want to dominate the markets we're in and have a very good core group of washes in those markets, respectfully and smartly develop around those core markets, and just run a hell of a good show. That's it. I'm not going to worry too much about, a onesie twosie guy building on top of me here or there. I mean, we're going to buckle down and be very disciplined in what we do, use our capital properly, not wastefully, and grow a really good business. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what matters. I want a fantastic team that operates perfectly, whether I'm there or not. And hopefully a little more of not. Just kidding. And and have some fun while we're doing it with a good culture in that company. But the industry's not wrecked, not trashed. I think we're getting a reset that we needed. And as all cycles of businesses go with frenzies and the wild, wild west, the gold rush, it all tapers back down to moderate, sustained, smart growth. So I'm sure that every CEO of every car wash M&A or company on that list is buckling down and fixing things that they know they need to fix. So it's going to be a good thing, I would say, in the long term for the industry. So we all need a little slap in the face here and get our humble, hungry, smart going again. And I think it'll be interesting to see after we get on the backside of this economic whatever we're doing right now. I think things will be good because at the end of the day, we do provide a great service, and our membership penetration is only like 5 or 6% of the U.S. car park right now. So there's a lot of growth, I think, that can still be had in the industry. We just need to do it properly.
And there were certainly a lot of new participants in the private equity atmosphere and new large investors coming into the industry over these past 5 to 6 years. But just judging from the past trade show I went to at NRCC, there's always new investors who are coming in and trying to learn more in the market. So even if it's more difficult now to scale a car wash business, they're still interested, even if they're late to the game here a little bit. So for these new investors coming into the market, what would you say is the most difficult aspect of scaling a conveyor car wash chain going into 2024 here? What advice can you give them, and why do you feel that these are the most difficult aspects?
Well, patience. You can buy your way into the industry in gigantic multiples, but you're going to be disappointed on what that brings back financially as a return. So you got to be patient. You got to set up a fantastic management team. You got to build the company from internally so that you can support any growth, not slow growth or middle growth or fast growth. It's everyone thinks you build them, they come, and it's just like snapping a finger, and I'm getting $1 million of EBITDA per site, but that is not what this business is about. It's probably one of the most difficult businesses to actually operate if you think about the people side and the mechanical side, and the process side of it. I mean, we've got a lot of moving parts that are difficult. So be patient, sweat every detail. and don't get past your skis, because it's really hard to right that ship when things start going south. It's incredibly difficult. So, I mean, that's been our thing. We just always wanted to stay in front of the industry in the process, and make sure that when we grow behind it. The last store I just opened, I want it to be better than the previous one. So keeping that mindset in there, I think you can be safe in this business and enjoy, what could be a pretty frothy return.
All right, sounds good. Well, one more question, if I can, John, just to bring it back to that $150 million incremental credit facility financing that you just received. Are you going to be focusing more on your core markets here, or looking to expand out a little bit?
We are focusing heavy on core. We are adding one additional market, which is Detroit Metro. We own 5 or 6 properties today, getting started on a few of them yet this year, I think. And we've got about another 5 to 10 inside of some type of approval process for ownership. So I would say we should be somewhere in the 10 unit opening next year in 24. That's kind of our big growth market. Detroit, great, healthy market. Really, really big automotive. We really like what we see up there. It ties in nicely with Toledo. It's close to us, so we can manage it easily from home here in Ohio. We just have to get past the Ohio State, Michigan crap, I'll wear the blue if I have to.
Oh, no. All
Yeah,
right, well, we
that.
don't want to let any other fellow Ohioans hear that
No,
last remark.
I'm not
But
that much of a sellout.
certainly great catching up with you as always, John. Great to see you. I wish you nothing but great things for the holidays coming up here, and we look forward to tracking your progress in 2024.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all you do. Great magazine. Love reading it every month.
Much appreciated. Thanks, John.
All right, take care.